Russian trawler cells. I think it was a US submarine, followed by a Russian trawler, followed by a Russian submarine, followed by a US trawler, and they're doing snakes around New Zealand, and they were laying locator beacons for the Polaris missiles because satellites weren't working in the 80s. And Putin was there. Putin was in New Zealand from 1980 to 82. So New Zealand was actually the hotbed of the Cold War, and there's very few people who knew it, you know. And I was given all the locations of where everyone was hiding, so they'd have boarding houses with alcoholics and bums, if you like, bums, and the front door and then the hallway. So once you got past the bums, to England in 2015, 1st of March, and the whole British royal family's been crumbling.
Yeah.
Just absolutely crumbling. So that's good. So I was in the Eastern Bloc during the fall of the Berlin Wall, and I was in Holland, the Netherlands, when Queen Beatrix abdicated, and I was in the Algarve in Portugal, about an hour's drive from Spain, when King Juan Carlos of Spain abdicated, and now I'm in England, and the British royal family abdicating. And this wouldn't be the case if they were rightful, but they're not rightful.
Right.
So somehow I've got this presence that makes monarchies crumble.
and you,
when they're not true, when they're not true.
And you and I both found out, I think it was Friday, they got some really bad news on the financial side as well.
You broke up.
Yep. Oh, I'm sorry, you broke up? I said on Friday, you and I both know that the Royals got some bad financial news as well.
That did happen on Friday.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, I got the news Thursday or Friday, and the news is that all the funding for the British royal family has been withdrawn, and they've been taken into bankruptcy, and all the funding for the Rothschilds have been bankrupted. Is that your understanding?
Yes. Yep.
And they took the insignia off the gates of Buckingham Palace because I think they want my insignia on that. I think they want this on there instead.
Mm-hmm. The 3 7s.
Yeah, the 3 7s. I'm pleased you said. It's an intelligence test, if you can see the 3 7s.
Yep.
And 3 7s means the end times, as in the end times to the new age. And it also means the Shin, which is the forbidden secret. And I've been running the Shin. And one of the forbidden secrets is that the British royal family flatline royal. They're fakes. And they're illegitimate Rothschilds and they only had permission to rule for 200 years from 1812 or 1819. So that time's up. So they're just crumbling. And the two people they chose to crumble first was Prince Andrew. He's closest in age to me. He's born in 1960. I'm born in 1961. And Prince Harry. And Prince Harry's got the same birthday as me.
Wow.
So that's why they're using that. They're using it as markers. Yeah.
So you brought this paperwork to it's gotten to the attention of the Pope, the Royals, Donald Trump, Putin.
Yeah.
And you've got confirmation that they've all seen that, correct?
Yeah, they've acted on it. It's called estoppel in action when they act on the documents, and they've been acting on the documents. So I sent it to Trump, and then Trump's using his contacts to question the Queen. Is this true? Do you want to deny anything? She can't, and she hasn't. So she's basically withdrawn under the cover of coronavirus, and coronavirus is Latin for we crown him. Yeah? And they're standing outside on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. clapping for the NHS, and NHS stands for New Hallett Sovereign.
Wow.
Yes, beautiful.
You can't make this stuff up.
You can't make it up. And they also closed down the whole world for Lent.
Yeah.
So St. Paul's was empty, or St. Peter's rather was empty.
Well, some will say it's been empty for a long time. So the Pope is aware of this as well, correct?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So they've been aware of me since birth because the Hebrews in the original Hebrew language they made some predictions leading up to 200 AD, and then they were satisfied with the predictions, so they turned the entire Hebrew language off for 1700 years. 17 is the number Q, right?
Right.
So I looked up the predictions, so it's in the Midrash Song of Songs 2. Midrash 2 Song of Songs, I think it is. And it's got various names. And it gives codifying that the Mashiach, which is the king of Israel, so it's called HaMashiach or the Mashiach, and he's automatically the king of Israel, and he's the predicted one. And it says the 7 years leading up to his birth, what will happen, and that was the 7 years leading up to 1961. And the last 2 years, well, begins actually with drought, and America had droughts from 1950 to 57. Fantastic droughts, you know, just giant tumbleweeds.
Right.
And a meter deep, 3 feet deep in just sand, dust. And then the last ones, and then there's hunger, which was China, and then there's threat of war, which was leading up to the Cold War, and then a dread of war, and then threat of war, which was the Berlin Wall going up on the 13th of August 1961, which was exactly 33 days before I was born. Yeah? So that was kind of interesting. So that sort of encouraged me. Well, you know, I didn't know it at the time, but that was kind of why I got involved in dropping the Berlin Wall. You know, I had some pretty strong effects on that. And then kind of no one knew what I was doing, but they kind of did as well. You kind of, you know, some of your intelligence services took me on a tour to Patmos, which was interesting. So, and then it says, okay, he's going to be born in a new year, and the new year is the changeover year. So the Jews have 4 new years, and the new year that actually changes over the year is called Rosh Hashanah. And I was born in Rosh Hashanah 1961, and then it gets really specific to what day, whether it's Rosh Hashanah Eve, which is the eve, or Rosh Hashanah day, or the day after. And it goes on for 3 days, but in the old system, it actually went on for 10 days. And I was born at exactly the right time to the hour. So, you know, people who were born at that time, they probably went, okay, has this person got the bloodline to be HaMashiach, which is automatically king of Israel, right? And when the HaMashiach is found and acknowledged, they go back to the old ways with more oomph. And Israel's not supposed to be run by government, it's supposed to be run from the temple, right? So I put in my papers, I'm HaMashiach, and here's the proof, please contest it. Sent it to the Prime Minister of Israel and the President of the United States and the Archbishop of Canterbury and Putin and all the royal family and the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. None of them have contested it, and Israel hasn't been able to form a government in the last 17 to 18 months. Right? And that's their acknowledgement. That's called estoppel in action. That means they're acting on it, and once that they've acted on it, they can't deny it. And they've also confirmed my paperwork by passive acquiescence and cognitive avoidance. So the only thing short of it is a signature, and that comes with the, I did a triple paperwork, which is a statement of claim affirmation, and then a more of a summary confirmation, and then affirmation, confirmation, certification. And I have witnesses to all of this, and they've all got the copies of the work, and they're all 3D paperwork. You know, we use cream, linen, watermark, SRA 4 paper.